Yep.
All right, go ahead.
FFA, cows, faith, family, and Apis mellifera, also known as the common honeybee. These are things that I have come to love in my 16 years of living on this earth. If the bees disappear off the surface of the globe, humans will follow for years after. That is a quote that was stated by Albert Einstein before his death in 1955. Although that statement is not 100% accurate, it is also, honeybees are also very important to our agricultural industries. Some of you probably have really not spent very much time with bees, unlike me. Some of you are probably even scared of the little insects. But if there's one thing I could tell you, it's never swat at a honeybee. If it's a wasp, go ahead, kill them all. But honeybees, don't. I have been a beekeeper for 3 years. I have been interested in beekeeping for about 6. Now, a little bit ago, I did some math. And in my 3 years of beekeeping, I have owned and managed a total of 20 hives. And this is a hive, which is approximately over 1 million honeybees that I have owned and managed in 3 short years. So, my favorite part about beekeeping has to be the weekly hive inspections. This is when me, as a beekeeper, gets to go inside one of the hives and see their growth throughout the past week. Today, I will show you how I conduct my hive inspections, and whenever you go into your hive, you must always have an objective. Whether it be just to check up on the hive for your weekly inspection, to locate the queen, or in this case today, we will be looking for eggs from the queen so that we may take them, put them in a queenless hive, so that queenless hive may raise the eggs into a queen. So, first, what you must do before even leaving your house to go inspect the bees is to make sure that you're not wearing a hat, that you're wearing a long sleeve shirt, and you're wearing jeans. And even in the dense, hot summer, even when it's 90 degrees, you're still going to want to make sure you're wearing these. Because getting stung, even though I've gotten stung many times in my 3 years, it still is not fun. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to take your veil. Now, this is a veil. This is what protects your head and neck from the bees. As you can see, there's many sides and many shapes of screens on the veil. You're going to want to take the square part of it, put it towards your body, flip it over, put your head through the hole, and then a little tip for you is to make sure your hood is inside the back of the veil, like so. Because if not, your hood could get in the way of the string and bees could get in your veil. That is not fun. It's happened to me many times when bees have gotten in my veil, and then you go running, screaming, trying to get your veil off so the bee doesn't sting your face. So then, after you have it on, you're just going to tie it around your body, like this. It doesn't have to be too tight, just so it stays on. Then you're going to want to take your gloves and hold on to your sweatshirt so it doesn't move, and put your glove on. This has to be a very important step that you make sure, because even though, like I said earlier, I have been stung, being stung is not a very fun experience. So what you're first going to do is take your smoker. This is a smoker. Now, a misconception about the smoker is that it's a chemical that you're putting into the bees to make them fall asleep. That is not true. Beekeepers burn mainly white pine needles in their smoker. That makes the bees relax and covers up the nervousness of the bees so that they don't go all crazy and start stinging you rapidly. So, as shown in that picture, you're going to take your smoker and the little hole in the entrance, you're going to take it and you're just going to puff some smoke into it. Then, after you wait a little bit so that the smoke can settle inside of your hive, then you're going to want to take the top of your lid and just puff some smoke inside the top. Now, that's a very important step because there's a lot of bees that are up underneath the first top cover, and that if you start just ripping apart your hive, you're going to be killing many bees. So, after that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your top cover, which is this, lay it upside down on the ground next to the hive. And because of the bees propolising the inner cover, you're going to want to take on all of your corners and just slowly peel up with your hive tool. Once you have that done, you're going to take it and set it on the inside of your top cover. Next, like I stated earlier, we're looking for eggs. So you're going to take an empty frame more towards the end or side of the hive. You're going to take it and you're going to prop it up and take the propolis, which is like what the bees use as glue, and you're going to peel that back. You're then going to grab the frame out, like in this picture, and you're going to inspect it. Now, there's probably not going to be very many eggs or bees on the first frame you pull out. So you're going to want to take it and set it on the inner cover so that all the bees go onto your cover and not onto the grass. So then you're going to slowly work the way in, because all the bees are mainly in the middle, and you're then going to inspect that hive. You're going to take it out and you're going to inspect it again. Now, as you can see in this photo, what you're looking for is eggs. And if you look inside of each one of the little cells, you can see what looks to be a small little rice piece of rice. That is actually an egg. A queen can lay 2,000 of those eggs in one day. That is the equivalent to her laying her whole body mass in a day. So then, you're going to want to take it to the queenless hive, and as shown in that picture, you're going to want to set it down inside the hive. You're then going to want to put your hive back together, and then take your inner cover and put that diagonally on your hive so you don't kill very many bees. You're then going to twist it over so that you minimize the chances of bees dying. You're then going to want to put your hive back together, and now, in this demonstration, you learn how to properly conduct a hive inspection and the use of creating queens using eggs. I hope that this demonstration taught you something that you may become interested in later. If you have any other questions or comments, or just looking to talk about bees, I am open to all of those. I hope you learned something, and thank you for listening to my speech.